These are the BeerBiceps book recommendations, the books that have had the deepest impact on me and on my adult life and on my thought process. Book number one of my idols, Tim Ferriss, wrote this beautiful compilation of all his podcasts. He runs an extremely successful podcast called The Tim Ferriss Show, which has been a massive inspiration behind starting The Ranveer Show as well. He interviews some of the world's most successful people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Casey Neistat, amongst a bunch of other people. Each of those podcasts' best bits have been broken down and compiled into this book. The entire book is divided into 3 parts: health, wealth, and wisdom. And at the start of the book, Tim Ferriss has actually written a chapter about how you're supposed to read this book. So you're supposed to read it according to what you need in your life. Do you want health? Do you want wealth? Do you want wisdom? Now, each chapter within these larger chunks of the book contains one episodic breakdown. Each chapter is 2 to 3 pages. That's it. And trust me, the kind of hacks, whether it's life hacks, money hacks, business hacks that are given in this book, they will impact your everyday life, your everyday thought process. It'll make your life much more efficient. It'll make your life easier, basically. This is what has been my higher education in life. Highly recommended to every single professional, everyone who wants to grow in life in any aspect. You've got to read Tools of Titans. Book number 2 is a book I read recently. I keep talking about it on the podcast. It's called 21 Lessons for the 21st Century by Yuval Noah Harari, the same guy who wrote Sapiens and Homo Deus. This is his 3rd book. I feel if you're a businessman, if you want to know what the near future looks like, what the world is going to look like in the 2030s and 2040s, you have to read this particular book. How our lifespans, your and my lifespan, is going to be expanded a lot because of something called biohacking. Each chapter is a breakdown of one massive change that's going to happen in our lifetimes or a huge concept that's going to be completely modified going forward. For example, in terms of concepts, he's spoken about the nature of terrorism, how the nature of terrorism might change when bioweapons are given to terrorists, and a bunch of other things. And when it comes to the changes that will impact the human life, he's spoken about biohacking, about the role of artificial intelligence, about how the human species is going to evolve into an even more advanced version of itself. We're going to become smarter, better looking, more efficient, and happier in general. Or in typical Yuval Noah Harari style, he's also exposed us to the dangers of the near future. That's the beauty of this writer. He'll speak about a concept, speak about the beautiful outcome, but also speak about the terrible thing that can happen because of that same advancement in technology. For example, when Einstein discovered nuclear power, someone said, hey, you know what? You can make a bomb out of that. Therefore, from a beautiful scientific discovery which would create a non-polluting source of power, someone also figured you can use it to make bombs. Yuval Noah Harari takes all the recent scientific discoveries and shows you both sides. It'll work your mind muscle, and especially if you're a young entrepreneur, if you want business ideas for the next 10 to 20 years, you're going to get it from this book. 3rd book, this is much more for your career than it is for your spiritual life. And in saying that, it will be the most spiritually impactful book you will ever read, The Autobiography of a Yogi. This book is so deep, I will be making a detailed breakdown on this. There's a reason that Steve Jobs and Virat Kohli have spoken about the impact that this book has had in their lives. It's a detailed breakdown of Yoganand Paramhans. He was a sage who went from India to USA and spread Eastern knowledge in the Western world. So the book is a story about his life and the different stages he had in his own spiritual advancement, all the people he met, the sacrifices he had to make, the learnings from those sacrifices. And it will also answer a lot of questions that you have about life. What's the nature of human existence? Why is there suffering in the world? Why is there evil in the world? All those deep spiritual questions will be answered in this extremely heavy book. It is not an easy book to read. You might have to sit with a dictionary while reading the book. The good news is that it's available in every single language you can think of, including Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi. You think of it, it's available. Spanish, French, all of that as well. But read this book extremely slowly. It took me a year to complete this whole book. I would read 1 chapter or half a chapter at a time. Absorb all of it, because the best spiritual books are meant to be read like that. I'm not going to talk too much about this book in this video because this one deserves its own breakdown. But these are my 3 recommendations. Tools of Titans to get you started and accelerated in your career. 21 Lessons for the 21st Century to set up your future for yourself. And The Autobiography of a Yogi to kind of add that little element of peace, faith, and humility in your life.